I hunkered down in my son's basement at 4 in the morning, with my hand over my mouth and my heart pounding rapidly against my chest. What I'd just seen through that keyhole changed everything I thought I knew about my family. But let me back up, because what brought me to that door at that hour, that's where this really starts. Before we begin, drop a comment below with your country and what time it is right now where you're watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't just sit back. Tell me where in the world you are. Now, let's dive into the story. I arrived at my son Michael's house 3 weeks earlier. He lived in Columbus, about 40 minutes from my place. 2-story colonial, white shutters, basketball hoop in the driveway. His wife Dana called me on a Tuesday afternoon. Her voice sounded tight. "Mom, we need help. Emergency." Dana never called me Mom. She called me Ruth. What happened? "Michael's traveling for 2 weeks, work thing. I can't handle Emma and Charlie alone. I'm drowning here." Emma was 7, Charlie was 5. Sweet kids, quiet. "When do you need me?" "Tonight?" I packed a bag. I didn't hesitate. That's what grandmothers do. When I got there, Dana hugged me at the door. Hard. Too hard. "Thank you. God, thank you." She looked thin. Her hair needed washing, dark circles under her eyes. "Are you all right?" "Just tired. The kids are upstairs." I went up. Emma and Charlie were in Emma's room. They sat on the floor with coloring books. Neither of them was coloring. "Grandma!" Emma jumped up. She wrapped her arms around my waist. Charlie stayed on the floor. He looked at me, then looked away. "Hey, sweetheart, what are you drawing?" "Nothing." That night, Dana made spaghetti, store-bought sauce, overcooked noodles. She barely ate. The kids pushed food around their plates. "Mom says Dad's coming back soon," Emma said. Dana's fork stopped midair, just for a second. "That's right, 2 weeks." But 2 weeks passed. Michael didn't come home. Dana said his trip got extended, then extended again. Work emergency, big client. She said it fast, like she'd practiced. I stayed. I didn't ask when I'd leave. Dana didn't mention it. I cooked, I cleaned, I took the kids to school, I picked them up. Normal grandmother things. But the house felt wrong. Dana disappeared for hours. She'd say she had errands. She'd come back with nothing. No groceries, no bags, just her phone in her hand and her jaw tight. The kids got quieter. Emma stopped talking at school. Charlie stopped talking at all. At night, I heard Dana on the phone. Her voice carried through the vents. "I told you she doesn't know anything." I didn't know who she was talking to. I didn't ask. Then, one night, I heard something else. A man's voice. Deep. Not Michael's. I was in the guest room. The clock said 11:47 p.m. The voice came from downstairs. Then Dana laughed. Soft. The way you laugh with someone close. I opened my door. Listened. Footsteps. The basement door opened, then closed. I waited 10 minutes. Then I went downstairs. The house was dark. I moved slow. My hip doesn't like stairs anymore. The basement door was shut. Light showed underneath. I stood there, my hand on the wall, my heart loud in my chest. Then I heard Dana's voice again, but different this time, scared. "We can't keep doing this." The man's voice. "You said she'd be gone by now." "I thought she would." "Then make her leave." I stepped closer. My foot hit a loose board. It creaked. Everything went silent. I didn't move. I barely breathed. Then the voices started again. Quieter now. I couldn't hear words, just tone. Angry, urgent. I went back upstairs. I didn't sleep. The next morning, Dana acted normal. Cheerful, even. She made pancakes. The kids ate 2 bites each. I watched her. She didn't look at me. That night, I heard the basement door again. Same time. 11:47 p.m. I waited until midnight, then I went down. This time, I didn't stop at the top of the stairs. I went all the way to the basement door. The light was on, voices inside, low and steady. I bent down. My knees complained. I pressed my eye to the keyhole. What I saw made my stomach drop. Dana sat on the old couch, the one Michael and I picked out when he first bought this house. Next to her sat a man I'd never seen before. He had his arm around her shoulders. She had her head against his chest. But that wasn't the worst part. On the coffee table in front of them sat papers, legal papers. I could see the letterhead even from the keyhole. Morrison and Associates, family law, divorce papers. My breath caught. I put my hand on the wall to steady myself. The man looked at Dana. He kissed the top of her head. 2 more weeks, that's all we need. Dana nodded. Her voice was small. What about Ruth? What about her? She's upstairs with the kids every day. So, she doesn't know anything. But what if she won't? Old people don't notice things. I felt something cold move through my chest. Old people don't notice things. I stood up. My knee popped. The sound was loud in the quiet hallway. The voices stopped. I moved fast, faster than I should have, back up the stairs, into my room, door closed, lights off. I sat on the edge of the bed. My hands shook. Dana was leaving Michael. That much was clear. But why was I here? Why did she need me in this house? I thought about the kids, how quiet they'd been, how Charlie wouldn't look at me. I thought about Michael. 2 weeks turned into 4. Always another work trip, another delay. Did he even know what was happening in his own house? I didn't sleep that night either. I lay in bed and listened. Every creak, every sound. At dawn, I got up. I went downstairs. Dana was already in the kitchen, coffee in her hand. She smiled when she saw me. Morning, you're up early. Couldn't sleep. Everything okay? I looked at her. Really looked at her. She looked back, steady, calm. Fine, I said. I made breakfast, eggs and toast. The kids came down. Emma ate. Charlie didn't. After I dropped them at school, I drove to the library. I used one of their computers. I searched for Morrison and Associates. It was real. A law firm in Cincinnati, specializing in family law and asset protection. Asset protection. I sat back. The chair squeaked. Michael made good money. Software engineer, 6 figures. This house was paid off. He had investments, retirement accounts. Dana wanted more than a divorce. She wanted to take everything. And she needed me in this house, watching the kids, being useful, being blind. I drove back. The house was empty. Dana's car was gone. I went to Michael's office. The door was locked. I tried the handle twice. It didn't budge. I went to their bedroom. Nothing looked unusual. Bed made, clothes in the closet. But Dana's side was different. Half her things were gone. I checked the bathroom. Her makeup bag was missing. Her toothbrush, the expensive face cream she always used. She was packing, slowly, so no one would notice. I opened Michael's nightstand. Inside was a stack of papers, bills, bank statements. I took photos with my phone. My hands were steadier now. That night, the basement door opened again, same time. I went down, same position, eye to the keyhole. Dana and the man were there. This time, they had a laptop open. He doesn't check this account, Dana said. I've been moving money for 3 months. The man typed something. How much is in there now? 47,000. He whistled. Your name on it? Joint account, but he never looks. Smart. Dana leaned back. What about the house? That's trickier. We need to wait until the divorce is filed. Then we claim you need it for the kids' stability. The kids. I felt heat in my chest. Not fear this time. Anger. What if he fights for custody? Dana asked. The man shrugged. He's never here. You've been the primary parent for years. Plus, you've got Ruth, the live-in grandma. Courts love that stability narrative. There it was. I wasn't here to help. I was here to be evidence. The devoted grandmother, living in the house, caring for the children, proof that Dana was the responsible parent. I called Michael the next morning. I used the landline in the kitchen. Dana was upstairs. He answered on the third ring. "Mom? Hi, sweetheart." His voice sounded tired, flat. "Everything okay? The kids all right?" "They're fine. I'm calling because I need to ask you something." Silence on his end. Then, "What?" "When are you coming home?" Another pause, longer this time. "They didn't tell you?" My grip tightened on the phone. "Tell me what?" "I'm not on a work trip, Mom. I'm in Cleveland. I've been staying with Dave." Dave was his college roommate. I'd met him twice. "Why?" "She asked me to leave. She said she needed space. She said having me in the house was too much stress." When did this happen? 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks? I'd been here for 4. "Do you know why?" He let out a long breath. "She said we grew apart. She said she needed time to think. I gave her time. I stayed away. I thought," his voice cracked, "I thought maybe she'd change her mind." "Michael, he still loves her, Mom. I don't know what I did wrong." I closed my eyes. My son, my kind, trusting son. "Are you talking to a lawyer?" "Why would I do that?" "Michael, listen to me. You need to come home." "She doesn't want me there." "I don't care what she wants. This is your house. These are your children." "Mom, come home, today. Don't tell her you're coming. Just come." "I don't understand." "You will. Trust me." I hung up. My hand was shaking again. Dana came downstairs 20 minutes later. She looked surprised to see me in the kitchen. "I thought you'd left for school drop-off." "Not yet." She poured coffee. Her movements were slow, casual, but her shoulders were tight. "Sleep okay?" she asked. "Fine." "Good." She left the room. I heard her go into the basement. The door closed. I grabbed my purse. I drove to a FedEx store. I printed every photo I'd taken from Michael's nightstand: bank statements, credit card bills, mortgage papers. Then I went to a lawyer's office. Not Morrison and Associates, a different one. This one specialized in men's rights in divorce. The receptionist looked skeptical when I walked in. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but I need to speak with someone. It's urgent." She made a call. 5 minutes later, a man in a gray suit came out. His name was Patrick Bell. "How can I help you?" I showed him the photos. I told him everything: the keyhole, the papers, the money, the man in the basement. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he leaned back. "Is your son aware of any of this?" "Not yet. He needs to be, today." "I told him to come home." "Good. We need to move fast. If she's been transferring money, we can freeze the accounts, but we need proof, and we need your son's consent. He'll give it." Patrick looked at me. "You're very calm for someone who just discovered this. I'm 72 years old. I don't have time for hysterics." He smiled, just a little. "Fair enough." I left with a folder full of papers, instructions, forms Michael needed to sign. When I got back to the house, Dana's car was gone. The kids weren't home from school yet. I went to the basement. The door was unlocked. Inside, everything looked normal. Old furniture, boxes, Christmas decorations in the corner. But the coffee table had marks, rings from cups. Papers had been there. Recently. I checked the couch cushions. Nothing. I checked behind the couch. There, a folder, thin, brown. I opened it. Bank statements, a different bank, an account in Dana's name only. Balance $83,000. Not 47, 83. She'd been lying to the man, too. I took photos. I put the folder back exactly where I found it. That night, Michael called. "I'm coming tomorrow, first thing." "Good." "Mom, what's going on?" "You'll see. Just come." "I'm scaring you." "I know. I'm sorry. but you need to see this yourself. I didn't hear the basement door that night. Dana stayed upstairs. Maybe she knew something had shifted. Maybe she felt it. The next morning, I got the kids ready for school. Emma's hair, Charlie's shoes, normal things. Dana came down in her robe. You seem distracted. Do I? Yeah. Everything okay? Everything is fine. She watched me. I watched her back. Then the doorbell rang. Dana froze, her coffee cup halfway to her mouth. I walked to the door. I opened it. Michael stood there, overnight bag in his hand. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. Hi, Mom. Behind me, I heard Dana's cup hit the counter, hard. What are you doing here? Michael looked past me. I live here. You can't just... Actually, I can. My name's on the deed. He walked in. I stepped aside. He set his bag down in the entryway. Dana's face went white, then red. You can't do this. Do what? Come to my own house? The kids are my kids too. She looked at me. Her eyes were hard. You called him. I didn't answer. Michael walked into the kitchen. He looked around, like he was seeing it for the first time. Where's your friend? He asked. Dana went still. What friend? His name's Todd, right? You met him at that conference last year. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. And before we continue, please subscribe to Whispers of Grandma. Let's keep breathing life into true stories that were never meant to stay silent. Stories like this deserve to be heard. Now, let's continue. Michael, don't. His voice was quiet, but something in it made her stop. I've been gone for 6 weeks. You told me you needed space. You told me you were thinking. You were planning. You've been moving money. You've been meeting with lawyers. You've been packing your things so slowly I wouldn't notice when I came back.
Tears started down her face. You don't understand. Then explain it. She looked at me again, desperate. She's been spying on me. She's been protecting her grandchildren. I would never hurt them. You were going to take them away from me. Because you're never here. I'm never here because you told me to leave. The kids appeared in the doorway. Emma and Charlie, both in their pajamas. They must have come down when they heard voices. Emma looked scared. Charlie looked at the floor. Michael's whole body changed. His voice softened. Hey guys, morning. Neither of them moved. Dana went to them. She crouched down. It's okay. Daddy just came to visit. Why is everyone yelling? Emma asked. We're not yelling, baby. Yes, you are. Michael walked over. He knelt next to Dana. I'm sorry we woke you. Charlie finally looked up. He looked at his dad, then at his mom. Are you going to leave again? No, Michael said. I'm staying. Dana stood up fast. We need to talk, alone. We're done talking. Michael! I filed for divorce this morning, before I came here. Her face went slack. I've frozen our joint accounts, I've contacted a lawyer, and I've requested emergency custody mediation. You can't! I can, and I did. She grabbed his arm. Please, we can fix this. Fix what? The affair? The lying? The theft? I didn't steal anything. You moved $47,000 into an account I don't have access to. That's my money. I earned it. From my paychecks. She let go of him. Her hands were shaking. Michael looked at me. Mom, can you take the kids upstairs? I nodded. Come on, you two. Let's get you dressed. Emma took my hand. Charlie followed. As we went up, I heard Dana's voice, pleading now. I didn't mean for this to happen. But it did. Upstairs, I helped them get ready. Emma was quiet. Charlie wouldn't stop crying. Is Daddy leaving again? No, sweetheart, he's staying. Promise?
promise." When we came back down, Dana was sitting at the kitchen table, her head in her hands. Michael stood by the window. He looked out at the backyard, the tire swing he'd built, the sandbox he'd filled. "You should pack a bag," he said, not looking at her. "What?" "I want you out today." "This is my house too." "Then we'll let the lawyers figure it out. But until they do, I want you gone." "You can't kick me out." "Watch me." She stood. "I'm not leaving my children. They're my children too, and right now they're safer with me." "Safer?" Her voice went high. "I've been taking care of them for 6 weeks, while you sat in Cleveland feeling sorry for yourself. You've been using them as props to build your case." She looked at me, her face twisted. "She told you that. She's been poisoning you against me." She told me the truth. "She's a bitter old woman who has nothing better to do than—" "Enough." Michael's voice cut through. "Pack your things now." Dana didn't move for a long time. Then she walked upstairs. We heard her in the bedroom, drawers opening, doors slamming. Emma held my hand. "Grandma, what's happening?" "Your parents are working some things out." "Are they getting divorced?" I looked at Michael. He looked at me. Then he knelt in front of Emma. "Yeah, baby, we are." "Because of me?" "No, God, no. This has nothing to do with you." "Then why?" "Because sometimes grown-ups stop being good for each other, but that doesn't mean we stop loving you." She nodded, but tears ran down her face. Dana came back down 30 minutes later. She had 2 suitcases. Her face was blotchy and red.
She looked at the kids. "I love you, both of you. I'm going to see you very soon." Emma ran to her. Dana held her tight, too tight. When she let go, Emma was crying too. Charlie stayed with me. He didn't go to his mother. Dana looked at Michael. "You'll regret this." "Maybe." "I'll fight you for everything." "I expect you will." She walked to the door, stopped, turned back. "This isn't over." "I know." Then she left. The door closed behind her. The house went quiet. Michael sat down at the table. He put his head in his hands. His shoulders shook. I put my hand on his back. "It's okay. I didn't want this. I know. I thought we'd grow old together. I know." The kids stood in the doorway, watching, learning what heartbreak looks like. 3 days later, I was folding laundry in the guest room. Emma was at school, Charlie was at kindergarten, Michael was on a call with his lawyer in the office downstairs. I heard the front door open, then close, soft, like someone trying not to be heard. I went to the hallway, looked over the railing. Dana stood in the entryway. She had keys in her hand. She looked around, then she walked toward the basement door. I went downstairs, quiet. She didn't hear me. She was in the basement. I could see the light under the door. I opened it, slow. She was at the filing cabinet, the one Michael kept locked. It was open now, papers spread on the floor around her. "What are you doing?" She jumped, spun around. Her face went pale. I just needed to get some documents." "With a stolen key?" She stood up, papers in her hands. "These are mine." "Those are bank statements from Michael's business account. I have a right to see them." "Not anymore." She looked at me. Her eyes were red. She'd been crying. "You ruined my life. I protected my son. He would have given me what I wanted if you hadn't interfered. What you wanted was everything he worked for. I worked too. I raised those kids while he traveled. I gave up my career. You had an affair, in his house, in his basement." Her jaw tightened. "You're just like him. You think I'm nothing."
I think you're a liar." She laughed, sharp, bitter. "You don't know anything about me, about what it's like to be married to someone who's never there. Then you should have left, honestly, not like this. Easy for you to say, you already had your life. My life?" I stepped closer. "My husband died when Michael was 12. I worked 3 jobs to keep our house. I didn't get to retire until I was 68. Don't talk to me about sacrifice." She looked away. "I'm not leaving empty-handed. That's not your choice anymore. We'll see what the judge says." She pushed past me, up the stairs. I heard the front door slam. I gathered the papers she'd scattered. Bank statements, tax returns, investment portfolios. Michael came up from his office. "Was that Dana?" "Yes." "What did she want?" I showed him the papers. "She broke in. She was going through your files." His face went hard. "I'm changing the locks today." "Good." That night, Michael's lawyer called. Patrick, the one I'd met. "We have a problem," he said. Michael put him on speaker. "What kind of problem?" "Dana's filed a restraining order against your mother." I felt something cold in my stomach. "What?" "She's claiming Ruth is hostile and mentally unstable, that she's interfering with Dana's access to the children." Michael stood up. "That's insane." "It doesn't matter if it's true. She filed it. There's a hearing in 3 days." "What does this mean?" "It means if the judge grants it, Ruth can't be in the house when Dana comes for visitation."
"We will, but you need to be prepared. She's going to paint Ruth as the villain here." After the call ended, Michael looked at me. "I'm sorry, Mom." "For what?" "For dragging you into this. You didn't drag me anywhere. I chose to be here. Still, you don't deserve this." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the hearing, about standing in front of a judge, about being called unstable. At 2 in the morning, I got up. I went to the kitchen, made tea. Michael was there already, sitting in the dark. "Can't sleep either?" I asked. "No." I sat across from him. We drank tea in silence. I sat down. My legs felt weak. "We'll fight it," Michael said. "Do you think I did the right thing?" he asked. "Kicking her out?" "Yes." "The kids are miserable. They're hurting, but they'll heal. Emma asked me if it was her fault." "What did you say?" "I said no. I said it 100 times, but I don't think she believes me." "She will, eventually." He looked at me. "What if I lose custody?" "You won't." "You don't know that." "I do, because you're their father. You're present now. You're fighting. That matters." "What about the restraining order?" "We'll deal with it." But I wasn't as confident as I sounded. I knew how these things worked. Mothers usually won. Grandmothers were seen as meddling, as overstepping. Dana knew that too. That's why she'd filed it. 2 days before the hearing, I went back to Patrick's office, alone. "I need to know what to expect," I said. He leaned back in his chair. "She's going to say you manipulated Michael, that you turned him against her, that you're preventing her from seeing her kids. None of that's true. Doesn't matter. It's her word against yours. What about evidence?" "Like what?" I pulled out my phone, showed him the photos, the keyhole, the man in the basement, the bank statements. He looked at each one carefully. "Where did you get these?" "I took them." "When?" "Late at night when she thought I was asleep." He set the phone down. "Ruth, this is good evidence for the divorce case, but for the restraining order, it makes you look obsessive." My chest tightened. I was protecting my family. "I believe you, but a judge might see it differently." "Then what do I do?" "Tell the truth, calmly. Don't get defensive, and whatever you do, don't mention the keyhole." I thanked him and headed home to get some rest. Today is the court hearing. I got ready. Michael drove me to the courthouse. The courthouse was cold. Gray walls, hard benches, everything echoed. Michael sat next to me, Patrick on his other side. Across the room, Dana sat with her lawyer, a woman in a navy suit, sharp and expensive looking. Dana wouldn't look at me. The judge was a woman, maybe 60, reading glasses on a chain. She looked tired. Case number 47B, Dana Mitchell versus Ruth Mitchell, petition for restraining order. Dana's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client is seeking protection from her mother-in-law, Ruth Mitchell. Mrs. Mitchell has engaged in a pattern of harassment and intimidation that has made it impossible for my client to maintain a relationship with her children. The judge looked at me. Mrs. Mitchell, do you have representation? Patrick stood. I'm here on behalf of Michael Mitchell, Your Honor. Ruth is a witness in the divorce proceedings. But not a party to this restraining order? No, Your Honor. We believe this petition is retaliatory and without merit. Dana's lawyer continued. Mrs. Mitchell has inserted herself into my client's marriage. She has encouraged her son to file for divorce. She has made false accusations of infidelity, and she has prevented my client from seeing her children.
The judge looked at Dana. Mrs. Mitchell, can you elaborate? Dana stood. Her voice was shaky. Your Honor, Ruth has never liked me. From the day I married Michael, she's tried to control our lives. She questioned my parenting, she criticized my housekeeping, and when Michael and I started having problems, she convinced him to throw me out. Did you ask her to leave your home? I asked for her help. I was overwhelmed. My husband was traveling. I needed support with the children. But instead of helping, she started spying on me. Spying? Dana looked at me. She went through my things. She took pictures of my personal documents. She followed me. She listened to my private conversations. My face burned, but I didn't speak. The judge turned to me. Mrs. Mitchell, how do you respond? I stood. My legs shook. Your Honor, I was asked to stay in that house to help with my grandchildren. While I was there, I witnessed behavior that concerned me. My son was being deceived. Money was being hidden. I reported what I saw to him. That's all. Did you go through Mrs. Mitchell's personal belongings? I hesitated. Patrick had told me not to lie. Yes, Your Honor, I found documents that showed money was being moved from joint accounts. Without permission? Without my son's knowledge, yes. Dana's lawyer jumped in. Your Honor, this is exactly the kind of intrusion we're talking about. Ruth Mitchell violated my client's privacy. She acted as judge and jury, and now she's using what she found to destroy my client's life. The judge looked at me. Mrs. Mitchell, did you feel threatened by your daughter-in-law? No. Did she threaten you in any way? No. Then why did you feel the need to investigate her? I took a breath. Because my grandchildren weren't acting like themselves. They were scared, they were quiet, something was wrong. And you assumed it was your daughter-in-law's fault? I didn't assume anything. I watched, I listened, and what I found confirmed my concerns. Dana started crying, loud, gulping sobs. She's trying to take my children from me. The judge handed her a tissue. Mrs. Mitchell, do you have evidence of harassment, threatening messages, anything documented? Dana wiped her eyes. She called me a liar in front of my children. She told Michael I was stealing from him. Were you? Dana's lawyer stepped in. Your Honor, those are allegations in the divorce proceedings, not relevant here. They're very relevant, Patrick said. This restraining order is an attempt to remove Ruth from the home so Dana can continue accessing finances and property without oversight.
The judge held up her hand. "Enough. I've heard enough." She looked at her notes. The room went silent. "Here's what I see. 2 women who care about the same children. 2 women who have very different ideas about what's best for those children. And 1 marriage that's fallen apart." She looked at Dana. "Mrs. Mitchell, I don't see evidence of harassment. I see a grandmother who was concerned about her grandchildren. Was she intrusive? Perhaps, but intrusive doesn't meet the legal standard for a restraining order." Dana's face crumpled. That said, the judge turned to me. "Mrs. Mitchell, your daughter-in-law has a right to see her children, and while I appreciate your concern, you need to step back. This is between their parents now." "I understand, Your Honor." Petition denied. The gavel came down. Dana stood so fast her chair fell over. She walked out without looking back. Her lawyer followed. "We'll appeal this." Patrick put his hand on my shoulder. "You did good." But I didn't feel good. I felt tired and sad and old.
That was 3 months ago. The divorce is still pending. Michael has primary custody. Dana gets the kids every other weekend. I moved back to my own house, but I visit often. I make dinner. I help with homework. Normal grandmother things. Last week I went over on a Tuesday. Michael was working late. The kids and I made cookies. Emma measured flour. Charlie cracked eggs. We got more on the counter than in the bowl. It was perfect. At bedtime, Emma asked me a question. "Grandma, will you and Mom ever be friends again?" I tucked the blanket around her. "I don't know, sweetheart. Maybe someday. I hope so. I miss when everyone was happy." "Me too." After they were asleep, I sat in the living room. Michael came home around 10. "How were they?" he asked. "Good. We made cookies." "I saw. The kitchen's a disaster." "I'll clean it." "No. Sit. I'll do it." He went to the kitchen. I heard water running, dishes clinking. He came back with 2 cups of tea, handed me one. "Mom, I never thanked you." "For what?" "For seeing what I couldn't see, for protecting us. That's what family does." "Not always." We sat in silence. The house was quiet, peaceful. "Do you regret it?" he asked, "getting involved?" I thought about the keyhole, the fear, the hearings, the accusations. "No." "Really?" "Really. Because here's what I know now, what I learned through all of this. Being a grandmother isn't just about cookies and bedtime stories. Sometimes it's about standing in the gap, about seeing things no one else wants to see, about speaking up when it would be easier to stay quiet. Dana called me bitter, called me meddling. Maybe she was right, but my grandchildren are safe. My son is healing, and I can sleep at night. That morning at 4 a.m. when I stood at that keyhole, I had a choice. I could have gone back to bed. I could have pretended I didn't see anything. I could have stayed out of it. But I didn't. And I'd make the same choice again. Because love isn't always soft. Sometimes it's sharp. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it means standing in a cold hallway at 4 in the morning and facing something you don't want to face. Last night, Charlie had a nightmare. Michael called me. I drove over. I sat on Charlie's bed, rubbed his back, sang the same songs I sang to Michael when he was small. "Grandma," whispered Charlie. "Yeah, buddy." "Are you gonna leave again?" "No, I'm right here." "Promise?" "Promise." He fell asleep holding my hand. I stayed until dawn, watched the sun come up through his window, listened to him breathe. Michael brought me coffee. "You should go home, get some rest." "I'm fine here." "You're always fine." "Someone has to be." He smiled.
tired but real. What would I do without you? You'd figure it out, but you don't have to. Later, driving home, I thought about what Emma said, about everyone being happy. We're not happy yet. Maybe we won't be for a long time, but we're honest now. We're safe. We're together. And sometimes that's enough. The keyhole is still there, in Michael's basement. I pass it every time I visit. I don't need to anymore. Whatever's on the other side, we'll face it together, in the light, with our eyes open. That's what I learned at 72 years old, in that house, at 4 in the morning. The truth is worth fighting for, even when it costs you everything, even when it makes you the villain in someone else's story. Because in your own story, in your family's story, you'll be the one who stayed awake, who paid attention, who saw what others missed.
You'll be the one who stood at the keyhole and didn't look away. And that's something no judge, no lawyer, no angry daughter-in-law can take from you. Michael called this morning. "Mom, can you come over Thursday? Emma has a school play." "What time?" 7. "But maybe come early. She wants you to help with her costume." "I'll be there." "Thanks, Mom. Always." I hung up, looked out my window. The morning was bright, clear. Somewhere across town, Dana was waking up alone. Maybe she was angry still. Maybe she was planning her next move. I didn't know. I didn't need to know. Because the keyhole taught me something else too. You can't control what other people do. You can only control what you see, what you know, what you choose to do with that knowledge. And I chose my family, every time, without question, without regret. That's the story. That's what happened at 4 a.m. in my son's basement. I saw the truth, and the truth changed everything. But some things stayed the same. I'm still a grandmother, still making cookies, still showing up, just with sharper eyes now and a steadier hand. And if I had to stand at that keyhole again, if I had to make that same terrible choice, I'd bend down, I'd look through, and I'd do exactly what I did before. Because that's what love looks like sometimes. Not soft, not easy, just present, just watching, just refusing to look away. If this story resonated with you, tell me in the comments. You're not alone. For more real stories about finding your voice later in life, subscribe and hit the like button. Until next time, be gentle with yourself and fierce about your peace. Bye for now.